Hi everyone, welcome to Pondering Nerds. My name is Nikki and I have with me today House.
Hey.
And my buddy Nate.
What's up?
And my homegirl Alyssa.
Hey!
Hey, and we are here today to talk about different controversies in the video gaming realm. So, over the years, there's been a lot of controversies around the different video games that's come out. Some of them I I still remember to this day because they were just fucking ridiculous. Others I just forgot about because they were just not memorable. So the few controversies that I wanted to talk about a little bit. Well, one game, I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of footage around it, and I'm kind of intrigued because of all the attention that it's getting, is Watch Dogs. It's a game from Ubisoft. It's been described as a vigilante adventure, which is funny because of one of the controversies surrounding it. So basically, in this game, there's this non-player character whose name is Kayvon Fortin, right? So if that sounds like, if you're jogging your memory, like where it sounds familiar, it could be because the name is eerily similar to Trayvon Martin, the young man who was killed in Florida by George Zimmerman. And then there's the whole situation with that. And the thing about this character is, besides the similarity of the name, the fact is of this character is he's hooded. Like, he's wearing a red hoodie, and he's a drug dealer. And so there's a screenshot going around to different social media sites of the character shot dead, lying down on the ground with a hoodie. And so there was controversy over it, being similar to Trayvon Martin. The thing is, so when I first heard about this, right, like I said, I didn't play the game, but like the similarity was it was jarring to me. I was like, okay, this can't be on purpose. It just can't be. Like, what kind of a statement would the developers be making with this? But then when I thought about it more, and as I did more research on it, I didn't believe that this was intentional. Like, the characters are all randomly generated. If you've ever, like I've played different games before with different characters on the sides, or like zombies almost. They're not interacting with your character at all. They're just there. And they're all randomly generated, right? Their outfits, their names, what they're doing. If you go back to the same spot, like, usually you don't see the same characters. You just don't see the same characters because they're all randomized. And so it would go with the name, and like I said, the outfits, like, it's just their personalities and stuff is just not intentional. And also, in games like that, like, urban wear is common, for bad guys or for good guys, really. Like, hoodies are not unusual on black characters, or any characters, really. Like, you just have a lot of characters wearing a lot of the same clothing, really. So in the end, I don't think that there's any big deal about this character, but other people think that it's intentional, and there's a lot of outrage about it. So I wanted to see what you guys thought.
Well, if I could jump in, I think one of the worst controversial things about this is that while everything is mainly randomly generated, there are actually some purposely made random characters. Like, for instance, Aisha Tyler, who's pretty much like Ubisoft's spokesperson nowadays, I guess. She's actually in the game by name. And I think you come across her randomly, and she's just in the game for the hell of it. Like, she's and they have her as like gamer enthusiast and whatever when you look up her stats, you know. And then you have I'm not sure what his name is, but they have someone who seems like he works with the company, and you know, he's in there. There's like random nods to different memes or different like famous internet people. So you know, there is that aspect where certain people were made on purpose, but you just come across them randomly in the world. So that's what I think is really getting people kind of upset, is that, you know, there is a possibility this character was made by someone in the studio for whatever reason, whether they thought it was an ode or whether they thought it was a parody or whatever the case may be. And, you know, while he is randomly generated, he is not randomly created, you know, I guess for the purpose of the game. So it's very controversial if that's the truth, because you don't know whether it was made, you know, for a positive thing or not. You know, it's really weird to like get down, and especially since this is such a big case in America the last, you know, couple years. So, you know, I don't know how you guys feel about it with that thrown in too.
Yeah, I had no idea that some characters are actually purposely put in that are just like not interacted with. They're just like walking around and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, some people thought that, you know, like, there is like a Bruce Wayne that someone like took a picture of and sent to Kotaku, and, you know, of course he doesn't look anything like, you know, like Christian Bale or anything like that. But, you know, there are specifically made people, you know, that you'll come across. So that's a little, you know, worrisome. If this, you know, a lot of people look at the name and they're like, oh, it doesn't rhyme, you know, but when you like say it out loud, Kevon Fortin sounds a lot like, you know, Trayvon Martin, you know, so it's a little troublesome.
Well,
I mean, I agree with you. My bad. I'm sorry. I was just gonna jump in real quick. Like, I agree with you where, like, I can see it as a controversy, but, like, I mean, I guess I'll just play instead of devil's advocate, I'll be developer's advocate for this.
Nice.
Like, I mean, you know, it very much could have just been coincidence. I mean, it was a little too close for comfort because, you know, the name is eerily similar. He is wearing a hood. But, I mean, if you look at the other things, it's, you know, it's not like he was a 16-year-old. It's not like he was only, you know, it didn't say that for money he was carrying Skittles. You know what I mean? I mean, he had said he was a drug dealer. I mean, none of these things were, Trayvon Martin was none of these things. You know what I mean? He wasn't 21, he wasn't a drug dealer, and he wasn't worth $47,000 or whatever's in the picture that's, you know, getting all the noise. I mean, like I said, I think it was a little too close for comfort. Obviously, it wasn't something so out there that it's getting more attention than it is now. I mean, I want to give the developers the benefit of the doubt and just say that it was very bad coincidence. If it was intentional, it was in very poor taste. I mean, I think anybody can agree on that. But, you know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that it was an oversight, and they didn't, you know, understand the, you know, the consequences of it. So I'll throw that out.
I hear you. Okay, well, are there any other controversies that you guys can remember from different video games that you've played or you've heard about in the past? I know, like, what's fresh in my mind are all the GTA controversies about, like, just the
hot
character.
Coffee mod?
Oh yeah, the hot coffee mod. Yeah, definitely.
Remember Hillary Clinton made a big stink about that. And,
right. Politicians always want to say some shit.
But I think though, as like revenge, I think they plastered her face on the Statue of Liberty in Grand Theft Auto 4, I think.
Wow, that's funny.
And she's actually holding.
What happened with Hillary Clinton?
I don't know. She just made, I guess, a whole. What was it? The whole thing with Hillary Clinton. She was like, yeah. What was it? Yeah, she just had a whole thing with she was just anti-video games, and she, you know, was against Grand Theft Auto. I forgot the whole thing about it, but she was like, she wanted to ban video games or something because she thought it caused violence, and she didn't like the idea of the sex in the video games. But so I guess as, you know, a jab at her, I guess Rockstar, they just put her face on the Statue of Liberty, and the Statue of Liberty is actually holding a cup of coffee. So
I had never heard about that, but that's kind of funny. I think that's kind of funny. I mean, how dare her though? I mean, I'm sorry. Like that's the first time I've ever
Right.
heard of that. And I just have to say how dare, because that's like trying to restrict art. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people back in the day when they were painting naked pictures of people, you know, this is before there was hardcore pornography and stuff of the day. You know, I mean, that they were risque. They were painting naked people. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then nowadays it's not the same. Obviously, I mean, when you're murdering somebody on a video game, but still, I mean, that's still like censorship at its highest level. You know what I mean? Like.
And that's ignoring like all the other video games that are, you know, art form. You know, like there's like I just finished playing Papo the other day on the PS3, and that game is all about, you know, a guy dealing with the fact that his father is abusive. You know, and through a metaphor of like this kid with a monster that, you know, when he eats toads he becomes, you know, like abusive, and that's like, you know, a metaphor for his dad drinking and becoming abusive. So there's all these different games that have come out, especially in the last few years, where it's nothing like, you know, the old school shoot everything, you know, you see, you know, and no one ever sees that though, or at least they don't want to argue fairly.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when Mortal Kombat first came out. That was pretty controversial for its day.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a story of I want to say it was like a 5th grader. It was an elementary school kid that like stabbed his classmate with a pair of scissors, and when the teacher asked him what he was trying to do, he said, I was trying to get to the next level, or something like that. And it was because he was playing Mortal Kombat the day before or something. But I mean, if you think about it in those terms, I mean, that one kid, that as tragic as that is, I'm not denying that, you know what I mean, it is tragic. That kid probably had problems before then. You know, you can't blame video gaming for, you know, something. I mean, this kid, we don't know anything about this kid's life. You can't punish a million for the actions of one. You know what I mean? It's just not just. So.
Did you hear about the thing with the Slender Man game with the 2 girls who stabbed up that 3rd girl? It turned out that one of the 2 girls who committed the crime, she was suffering from mental illness as well. And I mean,
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Like, we'll definitely post some stuff about it. But yeah, it was really fucking nuts. It was on the news the other day, and I was just like looking at that, like, are you serious right now? But yeah, there's so many things in the world.
People are too quick to blame
video games.
Media. Like, look what happened with Columbine. They were saying that the 2 shooters were used Doom as practice before going into the high school, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's just too many different factors for situations like that to just point to one source. I'm sorry. But yeah, like, there are so many other controversies in games, and we're going to tackle them all. We'll probably do another video touching on different controversies in other video games, including another one with Watch Dogs that has to do with the downgrade in quality, supposedly, which I don't like. And we're going to talk about that. So please come back for round 2 of this discussion. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one.